Several states tonight are set to change which items people can buy from the grocery store with their federal food benefits. Now, the restrictions, which begin tomorrow, target junk food. Meg Oliver reports.
Look, the honeymoon period is over. As of today, the feds are finally growing a backbone and drawing a line in the sand that's been decades in the making. We're talking about a total overhaul of how your hard-earned tax dollars are spent on nutrition. No more cutting blank checks for companies that sell us sickness. It's a new era for American health, and frankly, it's about time someone stopped the bleeding and started asking where all that money is actually going. It's January 1st, 2026. While most of the country is nursing a New Year's hangover, 5 states just flipped the script on the American supermarket: Indiana, Iowa, Nebraska, Utah, and West Virginia. They're the pioneers, the first ones to actually grab the SNAP program by the throat and change how it works. Under Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the Make America Healthy Again thing isn't just a catchy hat slogan anymore. It's a reality that's hitting the registers right now. Let's be honest, for years you've been forced to subsidize a national health disaster. Billions of your dollars have been funneled into liquid sugar and processed snacks that have zero business being called food. That cycle, that total collapse of common sense, is finally being ripped apart. The goal here is simple, even if the lobbyists hate it. Federal help needs to provide actual nourishment to the people who need it most. This isn't some dry policy tweak. It's a desperate attempt to bring back the American physical standard before it's too late. Secretary Kennedy is staying the course, and he's got a target on the back of every big food conglomerate that's spent the last 50 years buying off our health policy. He's looking at the data, and it's ugly. We're drowning in chronic diseases that shouldn't even exist, and we're paying for the privilege. By cutting off the government tap for energy drinks, candy, and soda, the administration is finally breaking the chains that keep families stuck in a loop of poor health. Kennedy's been clear. He's tired of seeing the government safety net turn into a spider web of metabolic disease. Of course, the critics are already whining about how complex this is. But ask yourself, is it too complex to save the next generation? We're finally seeing a clean break from the old way of doing things, where corporate profits always came before the health of your family and your kids. If you head down to South Carolina or West Virginia right now, the vibe is a mix of finally and a bit of a shock. Imagine walking down the aisle and seeing those SNAP accepted signs suddenly missing from the rows of neon-colored corn syrup and junk. The lobbyists are screaming, obviously. They're losing their minds because their golden goose is getting cooked. But the rest of us, we're starting to demand better. We're done with the old broken way of doing things where your money fueled the obesity epidemic. Now, some academics, the folks over at places like Montclair State, are biting their nails. They're worried about food insecurity if the healthy stuff doesn't show up on shelves fast enough to fill the gap. But the administration isn't flinching. They know the damage the old system did was way worse than the growing pains we're feeling right now. 13 more states are already lining up to join the fight by this fall, and believe me, the rest of the world is taking notes. This isn't just some local spat. It's a signal that America is finally trying to reclaim its vitality. We've been conditioned for 50 years to accept garbage as normal, and that's finally being challenged at the highest levels of power. We're finally shoving aside the lobbyist-driven rules that made us the sickest nation on earth. The math is simple. You cut out the empty calories from the federal books, and you cut down on the heart disease and the diabetes that's killing us. It's a massive lift, and you can bet there's going to be a mountain of lawsuits and political dirty tricks to stop it. But the foundation is there. America is finally choosing to be healthy again, and that transformation is starting right where it should, at the checkout counter.